You guys are looking wonderful tonight. Welcome to Amecast episode 17.
Hello.
Ah,
Thank you for having me here.
it's so good. It's so good to have you guys here. I'm genuinely really excited about tonight because this is the first English podcast I've done. This is the episode 17 of Amecast, but all those previous episodes have been in fully Finglish, like I almost said. I think this one is going to be, in my part, it's going to be Finglish. So it's going to be exciting. But I couldn't have been getting better guests to my first English podcast. So I'm really excited about tonight. And welcome. We have a little LittleMoTAC, and we're going to call you Molly, if that's all right.
Yeah.
And then on the bottom right, we have Chatez. Did I pronounce your nickname all right?
Nope. Nobody does.
No. We talked about this. You actually talked about it on your stream. Like, it's impossible. Like, how is it supposed to be said?
Okay, so it does not sound like how it is spelled. It is not French. It's Chatez. But nobody will remember that.
All right.
Chatez.
Yes. So,
Kind of. Close enough.
All right. But welcome, my beautiful people. And I'm extremely excited for tonight's podcast because this is going to be, in fact, the first one that's in English. And for the English Amecast, we have you guys as my first guests. And today we're going to be discussing about streaming as a career. And we're going to talk about Twitch and everything in between of those two things. So I would highly recommend for everyone who's watching and listening to just sit back and enjoy the chill conversations. But let's get started right away. And first of all, I think we need to talk a little bit about the game Valorant, because I think it's been the hot game and the hot topic of the week. Have you guys gotten the beta key yet? And what do you think about the Twitch drop system that we've seen here on Twitch?
I've been trying for 2 days to get a beta key, and I still can't get one. I've had like 5 streams open trying to get a drop, and I cannot get one no matter how much time I spend in there. I spent 6 hours the other day and haven't got one. So I've given up hope, but I really want to play it.
Same. What about you, Shadis?
Of course I have the game. Like, what is that a question?
Wow.
Of course I have it. I got the drop for my account this morning. So
you're lucky.
I will let you know now, for most of you people that are sitting there with multiple streams open, that doesn't help. Just one. Just one.
I was trying to keep my
Everybody's so eager, and they want to have like 50 million streams open and be like, this increase. No, just one. Just have one open, and that's it.
True, but what do you guys think about the event Riot Games built? What do you guys think about it?
I love it. I love that games are now doing more with Twitch. Like, I don't know if either of you played Borderlands 3 when it first came out, but like their integration with Twitch and their extension, and now Valorant doing it with like get a beta key drop. I mean, it's obviously good if you are a Twitch streamer, because it means that more people are coming to Twitch because it's more interactive. But I just think it's good, because why would you not want to interact more with gamers? And that's more or less what Twitch is. And it's good. I love it.
By the way, I have to say I love the way you pronounce it. What was it, like Valorant?
I don't know how you say it.
I say it in Finnish. It's Valorant.
Yeah, I've heard Valorant, Valorant, and
Valorant.
Yeah, and I don't know how it's Valorant.
It's Valorant. Yeah,
so that sounds really American. So like, I can't quite do it.
That's because it is. But yeah, it doesn't matter. People will understand what game you're talking about. But regardless, like she said, the event it's just top tier marketing. It's a good idea. It's just smart. The only way you can get in is by watching streams. Like, there's nothing better. There's just nothing better you can do.
I gotta say, I'm really mixed here. Like, I agree, it's really, really like five head. It's big brain. It's like huge mind that they created all this hype. And it's huge for Twitch, really. It's huge for Twitch. Like there's like millions of people watching and just like trying to get in. But that is the worst thing about this. Like I think people are truly getting mad, they're getting depressed, and they're not getting in. And there's like little information of how many are actually getting in.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah. It's a great game. What do you guys think about the game, though? Have you checked the actual streams, or are you just lurking around?
I avoid like trailers for movies. I avoid trailers for games. I don't like knowing what's gonna happen before I get there. So I have avoided all Valorant content. I know nothing about the heroes in it. I know nothing about the maps. I know nothing about the state of the game. I don't want to know until I can actually play it, because I know I'm gonna play it. Even if I know nothing about it, I know I'm gonna play it. So I just don't want to know anything about it. I don't want anything spoiled. I want to go in blind whenever I can and just play it.
Okay, that makes sense.
I've played a couple games, just a few, but CS:GO isn't really my thing. It's never really been my thing, but like the abilities change it up just enough to try it a little more. But that's as far as I can get. I'm not huge on like FPS competitive games. Like Overwatch is the closest one to an FPS competitive game that I've ever played. Like everything else, Battlefield, Call of Duty, nothing. Like it doesn't interest me at all. But this, I'm giving it a try to see how well it sticks.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually one of the biggest messages I've been trying to get her like to spread. That I came from Overwatch. I love Overwatch, but I don't actually think like the players of Overwatch are going to love like Valorant that much. Like I think it's a whole other thing, and the closest thing we've seen so far is CS. And if you don't like CS, you're not going to like Valorant. Yeah. That's how I feel. But still, it's free. If you get a key, go ahead and try it out. I think it's a great game. But keep that in mind. It's not an Overwatch. It's a really, really competitive FPS game. But hey, let's go to the main topic of the day. So we're talking about streaming, and we're talking about Twitch. And I have this big question to start off. What do you guys think is the single best thing about streaming, and what is the worst?
Oh my gosh, the best thing? I don't know. Best thing. I'm gonna sound so corny.
Do it. No, do it. Go all in.
Honestly, the best. Honestly, is just like I am such an introvert, but I love people, and so the whole reason I started Twitch was literally because I talk a lot to myself when I play games. And so I was like, well, wouldn't it be cool if I wasn't just talking to myself? That would seem less weird. So I literally just started streaming because I wanted to meet people that like games. I didn't really have many friends that did. I was already talking to myself anyway, so I thought even if no one came to chat, at least I was doing it into the void instead of talking to myself. And I just got really lucky that I just met some really, really nice people through it. And like, I just didn't think I would. I didn't think I'd make any like friends or really meet people that like I would regularly speak to. And I just ended up doing that. And that's like my favorite thing. And yeah, so it's really corny and it's really gross. But yeah, just meeting a community and meeting friends and stuff is probably the best thing. The worst? I don't know if I have something that I dislike about streaming, like so much that I'd say it's the worst thing about it. But I guess it's just the pressure I put on myself sort of thing. Like I worry so much that I'm gonna suddenly, like, people are gonna turn around and be like, oh my god, she's a terrible human being. And everyone will suddenly like find out that I'm terrible. So it's just, which, I mean, I don't know if that'll ever happen, But it's just sort of, I guess it's just this pressure of like, I want to make people happy and have a good day. And if I don't do that, then I'll feel really terrible. So it's probably just the external pressure that I put on myself more than anything.
I think that was a really good answer.
Yeah. And it's kind of the same that she had when it came to starting streaming. And like the best thing about it is, when back in the day we didn't have stuff like this, when you're younger, the best you had was, I'm going to sit next to my brother or sister or friend and watch them play the game. This is doing that on the next level. It doesn't change anything. Instead of watching them side by side, you're watching them over the internet, and it's literally the same feeling. So it's the fact of I'm getting to play my game, and I'm getting people able to watch the game and like comment on what they did in their gameplay and how they feel about the game themselves, and getting their reaction to a game rather than sitting there and playing it yourself and sitting in your room and be like, well, I just finished that game and I love it, and now I have nobody to talk to about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels really empty. Like I've always said that like streaming to me is like a gameplay plus. Like
exactly,
you're playing, but you're getting like this whole new social aspect. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then when it comes to the worst thing about streaming is more or less you get into streaming and then you start making, content and getting people that follow you and then expect things out of you. And then at that point, you don't want to dip lower than what you've already been doing so that you don't disappoint people and have them like, hey, where are you at? What are you doing? Where's the stream not on? Why aren't you streaming for the past? And you just sit there and you're like, wow, there's a lot of people that want to see me stream, and that makes you happy. But then at the same point, you're like, wow, I'm disappointing a lot of people at the same time. So which one do I take? The route where I take and keep a break, or do I just go back to it and then pressure myself to continue streaming?
Yeah.
And sometimes, people pressure themselves too far and like stream even though they feel like crap. Don't do that, by the way.
Yeah. Like some viewers like pressure us like we're obligated to give them something, and that's kind of a bad way to go. Like I don't think the viewer is owing anything to the streamer, or the streamer is owing anything to the viewer. Like it's a bad way to look at things if you think that the streamer is owing you something. But yeah, so my point of view on this, what is the single thing? I think the best thing that I've seen on my streaming career is that it's not about me anymore. Like I've streamed, I have a community, and people have found each other because of me. I think that's the best thing that I've managed to do, and it's the single best thing about streaming. Like some people have really like gotten together, they're playing it with each other. We've actually seen like relationships starting from within the community. Yep. It's so freaking cute. I love it. And but the worst thing, I think you guys are completely right, that the pressure and the fact that if you want to like grow, if you want to keep going, you need to push yourself a lot, and it comes with a lot of self doubt. Like I'm like once every week I'm waking up like, can I do this? Can I do this? Like, am I really like as entertaining or as good as a gamer or good of a streamer like somebody else? And it's not easy, but you just gotta keep on going. I guess that's the that's the thing. What do you guys think?
I think I am incredibly interested in like the data behind social media and websites like Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that. And I think that I know when I first started streaming, I had like these little panics where I'd watch like my favorite streamers, and I'd be like, oh, they've sort of had like the same view account for the last year that I've been watching them. And I was like, well, if that happens to me, am I gonna panic about it? Am I gonna worry about it? And it sort of took me a while to be like, well, I have to not, because I know there's gonna everyone, I think, comes to a point, there's only so many people that can watch so many streams. And even if Twitch grows and more users come along, there's still, you've got to share the space with other streamers. And so I think I just had to sort of tell myself that, like, if you hit a point of, like, I don't know, 10 viewers and you just don't grow anymore, that's just totally fine, because that's just what it was. Everyone has like a peak that they hit. Even like the bigger streamers who have like tens of thousands of views, everyone has a point that they hit where they're just not going to grow anymore, or their numbers could shrink. And I think I just sort of told myself, you just have to be okay. If you hit 10 and that's just, you just plateau and you just always stream to 10 people, that's like, you know, that's fine. Because I think Twitch, because they know that it is such a like self-propelled hobby or job, depending on why you do streaming, it's such a self-propelled thing that they sort of throw numbers at you. Like you have like your daily emails when you finish a stream of like, this is how many average views you had last stream, which is up or down from your last stream. And then you have like your analytics page, and then you have like emails telling you how to grow your stream, and then you have TwitchCon, which you should go to because it's good for networking. And I think Twitch is very aware that it's self-propelled, and so they try and help streamers as much as they possibly can to do that, but it can become very overwhelming sometimes. So I think you just have to tell yourself that if I hit a peak and I just stay there forever, that is totally fine. It's just what it's gonna be, because it gets scary sometimes, and the numbers are terrifying to like define yourself by, because in a normal full-time job in an office or something, you obviously have like promotions and you get raises and stuff like that, but you don't have that when you're self-employed. You sort of just have to keep going and keep yourself motivated, because you're the only one that can do that for yourself, if that makes sense. I went on a bit of a ramble there.
Yeah. It's completely fine. But yeah, like the thing is, a lot of people get scared of those numbers, as you stated, and like they want to hit higher numbers, and they see like 6, but they want to, compare themselves to somebody who's bigger, and somebody who's like, I want to get to that point, or somebody like looks in it for the money and for the sponsorships and for the free keyboards and games, getting connection. Like that comes eventually, as long as you have the confidence and that consistency that you are doing. So the main thing I would say about that is turn off numbers, all of them. Don't look at them. Turn off the numbers on your dashboard. You can click on them, subscriber numbers, everything. Turn it off. If you don't like numbers and you get the stream summary at the end, disable that. Turn it off until you get to a point where you feel like the numbers are comfortable. Do not look at them, because you will always try to compare your last day of streaming to today's day, and you'll be like, hey, I have 12 today, but yesterday I had 20. What did I do wrong? Where did I mess up? And you're not factoring in, maybe somebody has work that day. Maybe somebody had an event or a funeral or some kind of like dance party or something going out with friends. Like there's always situations that you cannot control. And therefore, looking at the numbers all the time just causes yourself extra stress. So from the main part of it, I would say just turn off the numbers and just focus on having a good time when you stream. That is where it will grow from.
Yeah, I think that's a good piece of advice. I actually like really early on I disabled my view count. It's really bad if you keep watching it. Like it's going to bum you out like every time it goes down, and it goes down. Let me tell you, it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go to the first section. We kind of dipped in already, but let's talk about streaming as a career, like right off the bat. So the first question is, how did you guys get started in streaming? When did you start, and what did you have in mind? Like how did it begin?
I started December 2017, I think, but I didn't properly start until about January 2018. And I basically just did it for art streams because I also do illustration and stuff like that. So I started Twitch to stream art. And then I found that it wasn't very good for my mental health to do that like incredibly often because having people just come in and judge your artwork is very terrifying and very scary. So I eventually shifted over to gaming, and I've had an obsession with Overwatch since it was in closed beta, and it was all I've played since it came out. So I was just like, oh, it'd be really nice if I could stream some Overwatch. And then I just started doing that and didn't stop streaming Overwatch. And now it's over 2 years later and I'm still streaming Overwatch.
Yeah. Yep. So for starting, I've been on Twitch since the beginning, and I seen everybody else do it, and I made a couple friends doing it, and I was like, fuck it. I just downloaded the software. And I started in 2012 streaming Minecraft at 5 FPS. I did not care at that point.
How old were you? How old were you?
This 2012. We're talking 8 years ago. 19.
Okay.
18, 19. And I just turned it on, and I was just having fun playing Minecraft at 5 FPS because at that time I had a laptop and literally it couldn't handle anything. I was at 360p. I didn't care. I just tried it, and it went somewhere. But the whole point was like, turn it on, share my experience, have fun. That was it.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. Yeah. I think like I'm really jealous to the people who had the mindset, like Chatez just said, like to just like I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna just start streaming like really early on. Like Twitch wasn't really a thing like a decade ago. Like it became a site I think 2012. It was Justin TV before that, and really like if you would have gotten like interested in streaming and you stumbled upon the side of Twitch really early on, I think you would have grown more easier. Like you could probably argue maybe Chatez has a different viewpoint on this, but I think it would have been easier, or at least you would have had let's say more time to learn. Because I started roughly at the same time that Molly did. 2017 November I started streaming, and the first motivation that I had was that I'm basically playing all the time. I'm playing and I think I'm pretty good. So why wouldn't I make it something more productive? That was my like idea. Like maybe I could make something out of myself while I play, and that was my logic. It wasn't so much of the fun. It was just that like I'm gonna do this either way, so I might as well just like network or something while doing it. Have you guys thought of that? Like streaming is productive, like it makes gaming productive. Have you ever thought of that?
I don't know if I ever thought like it made gaming productive. It was more like I said earlier, I was talking to myself. So I was like, this would make so much more sense if I talked to other people.
If it wasn't just me.
Yeah, if it wasn't just me like yelling at my computer and making what I thought to be witty comments, that would probably be better. And it was I just really liked, I'd watched before Twitch even existed, I would watch Let's Plays on YouTube, and then Justin TV and Twitch became a thing, and so I started watching that, and I'd had a couple of friends that had tried streaming on Twitch, and I was like, you know what, I mean, if everybody can do it, let's just do it, and I'll talk into the internet void, and we'll just see what happens. And so I just started streaming one day. I don't even know why I decided on that particular day to do it. I don't know why I went ahead with it, but I did. I'm really glad that I did. So I guess it feels productive now because it's part of my job. At the time, I was just saying why not, and then I just did it.
See, and that's the portion where what you just said is where it stands, and it always makes the most sense. You said it is my job now.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was just a hobby and fun, and then it becomes a job. And that's the thing that a lot of people get wrong, is they go in like, all right, guys, I know I can do Twitch. This is my job now. And they turn on their first stream. A month later, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. There's nobody. You can't just go into it like that. So again, turn it on, try to have fun. Have a good time, see what clicks. Play around with things. Don't worry about it in the beginning.
Oh, that was a great advice. But yeah, so when you were starting, what were your perceptions of streaming, and how have they changed over the years?
My perception, I don't know if I had any like preconceived ideas of what streaming was. My idea was just that, these guys look like they're having fun. I want to do that and have some fun and game and stuff. And so that's just sort of why I started streaming, was everybody just looked like they were having fun, messing about with their communities and stuff like that. And I just thought it was this just, I don't know, it sounds so normal now to just be like, oh, Twitch is just a live streaming platform where people play games and people chat and watch. But outside of that bubble, like if you explain it to anyone that doesn't know what Twitch is, it is this insane idea that people would just sit and watch you play a game for hours at a time. And so I just sort of was like really sucked into this whole idea of like, I really like doing that. I am one of those people who likes watching games for hours at a time, and I like playing games for hours at a time. So I'll just give it a go. And I don't think that's changed at this point. I literally just every stream I'm just like, we're going to have some fun today. We're going to have a good time. We're all going to have a good day. That's just sort of, I think that's what streaming should be. Just like as a streamer, just saying to your community, we're just going to have a good time today. That's all it is. And I like that about Twitch. And I think that just, I don't know if that'll change in future, but that's carried on my entire time on Twitch, that everyone's just around to have a good time and a laugh and play games together.
Just to tag on to your people asking you why do you watch people play games, everybody always gets that question. Easiest way is to turn it around on them. Most people watch sports, be like, so why do you watch 20 sweaty people running around kicking a ball for 6 hours? Exactly. Then they're like, oh, actually, I do that every weekend. It's like, it's the same thing. It's my interest. I'm doing the same thing you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the perspective of Twitch, as soon as I seen it like start up, was just people are playing games, but they're playthroughs, but live. This is I want in. From that point forward, I wanted in. And look where I am now. Like, I've wanted in since the start. I stayed in it, and I'm not going anywhere. Watching people progress and, enjoy games, sharing their gaming experiences and talking to each other and making these communities where they can feel like they can sit somewhere, especially in times like now during quarantine, where they have this time that they can sit with a community that has the same kind of interest and just have a ball and not be alone. Perfect. That's all I want. And that is all I want it to grow, to become bigger.
I gotta say, I really admire your like mindsets that you guys want to have fun with games. Like I don't know. I think it's just like fundamentally me. I'm a really, really competitive person. Like everything I've ever done, I want to min-max it. I want to like go 100%. I want to win. I want to like beat the other person. And that's why I got into like competitive games in the first place. And kind like somewhere along the way, I think I forgot how to have fun.
It sucked out all my fun doing them.
Yeah, it's like I've always been pushing for that rank. Like it doesn't matter what game I'm playing. Like in Overwatch, I peaked at like top 300 or something. I'm a good gamer, but I'm not that top 1 player. So I guess I should just like chill and try to have fun, but I don't know how. Like, can you guys teach me? Like, what do you think of when you play?
Well, see, I'm just really bad at games anyway. So like, there's never been a point in me where I'm like even in like sports, like before I started gaming, I was just like, this is something that I'm never going to be good at. I'm never going to achieve anything in this. So I might as well just like mess around, have some fun. And that's sort of how I like Overwatch. I'm not very good. I'm plat. So every day I just go in and I'm like, if we just meet some nice people today, and if we just don't lose too much, that's a good day in Overwatch. That's all I can ask for. So it was more, I didn't like have the mindset of like, I have to switch off the competitiveness. It was just, I know I'm not very good at this, so we're just gonna have some fun.
Moral of the story, Ame, be worse.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that's wonderful. Next question. So we kind of little bit talked about this earlier on, but do you guys consider streaming to be a hobby, a job, or something else?
It is part of my job now. I do like little bits of everything, but Twitch is my main source of income at the moment. So it is a job, but because I used to work full time in London, and when I left it, I said to myself, like, if I'm gonna do Twitch as part of my job, I don't want it to be my only job, because I think I just won't enjoy it anymore. So I've made it one of many different jobs that I do, because although it is my income and stuff like that, it's not that if suddenly tomorrow everybody decides they don't want to watch my stream anymore, if Twitch suddenly closes down for some reason, if anything changes, I'm not gonna like fall into a pit of despair. It's gonna be fine. I have these other forms of income. I am not just gonna like crash and burn if my Twitch stream does, kind of thing. So it's sort of like a job in that it serves a purpose, but it's still a hobby because I'm not putting all of my eggs in that basket, if that makes sense.
Hit it on the nail. It's both. Simply put, it's both. It's a hobby that can turn into a job, but at the same point in time, don't burn yourself out to make it feel like you're doing like a 9-to-5 job every day without being able to take a break. And that's the benefit of being able to do Twitch and make it a job, is you make your own hours. You are your boss. If you need to stream for 4 hours in one day, do the 4 hours. Don't push yourself for 8 every day as if it was a 9-to-5 job. It's a hobby, but it can become a job, and so it's both at all times. It can be both.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. What do you guys think? Like I watch XQC quite a bit, and he had this. I think it was kind of a mixed point. Like he doesn't want to. Like somebody was asking him, why don't you like have a streaming office or something? Like he's streaming from like his home. He answered that he doesn't want to consider it being a job. Like if he had an office, it would feel like a 9-to-5 job or something. But at the same time, he's streaming like 8+ hours a day every day, which to me sounds like that's a job. Like you're not having fun 8 to 10 hours every day. So what do you guys think? Would you consider to have a office somewhere in the city, like and not stream from your home?
I don't know if I would ever have like a separate office. I know that a lot of I've seen like a lot of YouTubers I watch have that, where they have a whole separate office, so they have to purposefully leave their homes and like go to work like away from their home. But for me, part of the benefit, I mean, this is a very like personal reason. Part of the benefit of Twitch was working from home, just because I suffer from a chronic pain condition. So commuting or traveling anywhere just like sort of exasperates that. So it means that I can like walk like the 6 feet to my kitchen. It's really nice. Like I can walk the 6 feet to my bathroom. It's really nice. So I don't think I personally would ever have an office outside of my home. But I do think it is really important if you do a job like streaming or anything self-employed or anything that is a hobby and became a job, to separate your work from fun. And it's not always possible. Like my computer is where I play games for myself and also for stream and also work and stuff. But it's not in my bedroom as such. I have a whole separate room for it. So I think even if you don't have that much space, it is important to try and separate work and fun if you can, even if you don't have a whole separate office, even if you don't go to a separate building. So I think it's just a personal preference thing at the end of the day, what works best for you. And that is part of the, like, I guess, privilege and convenience of being self-employed, is you can make those decisions, as opposed to if you worked for a company and you have to go into an office every day.
And you said that you have to separate work and fun. Why can't it be both? Why can't work be fun?
That's true.
My work's fun.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I meant as far as like, this is because I am a big workaholic. I'm very guilty of it. So I think for me, it's more like, this is work time. This is going to be fun time. Yeah. So like, otherwise I would just like, I will work all day, like 7 days a week. So I think it's just important to be like, this space is for working. This space is for relaxing. You're going to dedicate this time to your work. You're going to dedicate this time to chilling out. And so it's more that separation.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right in the aspect of it's a personal preference. A lot of streamers have those offices that are out there where they want it away from their home, because when they're home, they're way too comfortable and they can't, be productive or anything, because they know, hey, I'm sitting here and I'm doing this, but my fridge and my chips and the shows are right there. Netflix is literally 30 seconds away. Why am I doing this when I have that? And so they don't have the discipline or the ability to keep themselves, productive at their, office or workspace at home. So they need to like move it away so they can feel like they're actually working. Well, for myself, my personal preference is my workspace and my gaming space is one. It's all here. And I can, discipline myself to work and to do, my gaming all at the same time when I need to. So for me, I've never felt the need to like have a separate office, except for in the case where you have a significant other.
Yeah.
And you can't have your workspace in the living room or the bedroom if they're trying to sleep or they have friends over or something's going on. You need an office space or a gaming space to where it's away from that, so you can have your own little like cubby. But other than that, yeah, it's all dependent on the person.
Yeah. That's actually like, I have a dream. I have a dream of creating like an office space. Like I would love to have like a big space with like many PCs, and you could actually like collaborate with other streamers. Like I could get my town streamers there in one place, and we could hang out and be stupid. I think that would be like really great, but it's not gonna happen right away. But that's definitely something I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you guys had like really, really great ideas and points about the separation of like your job and your other life. And that's something I personally have struggled like greatly. And that's something I want to ask you guys. Have you had problems like separating those two lives? Because I can tell, like from my point of view, when I didn't used to have like a schedule on my streams, and I thought that was like one of the biggest issues I had, separating those two lives from each other, is that whenever I was on my like PC, I felt like, well, I could be streaming, like I could be like productive. I could use this time to grow and share my experiences, but that was really like, it took a toll on my like everything because I couldn't just chill and have fun, you know. Maybe that was one of the reasons I lost the fun aspect in gaming. Have you had problems separating this?
I think that because I said earlier I'm a bit of a workaholic, I find it hard not to find like productivity in everything I do. So I sort of I don't find it so hard as to if I'm at my computer, I need to be streaming and growing and all that kind of stuff. I find it more that if I'm sitting at my computer and I'm playing games just like on a day off or something like that, I'm like, well, I could also be editing, or I could also like be doing this, or I could be doing boring admin stuff, or I could be doing this. And it's more, I find the separation that if I'm having any time off, how do I make it more productive? Because working for yourself, it's kind of like you set your own hours. So I could take like 14 hours to do nothing and then work 10 hours, or I could do 14 hours of work and do nothing for 10 hours. And it's sort of I think I have the opposite problem of some people where it's like getting yourself motivated. I have the opposite problem where I have to just chill for a bit. So yeah, I have a hard time separating the work and chilling out aspects for sure.
Yeah, with work and all work and no play is what they say, and that's what Molly sounds to be. It's even though she's playing, she's still mentally working. So like it's still gonna keep going as work. So in an aspect of like separating your work and like your chill time, I've never had an issue with it because I've always considered my work, no matter what I'm doing, fun. So even if I wasn't working, I'm still going to have fun. When I am working, I'm still going to have fun. So it didn't matter to me whether I was working or not. I'm going to have fun with it. So with my current work is I make sure that I schedule myself. And that is the big part. Give yourself a schedule. Because if you don't have a schedule, you'll either lose track of time, you'll just keep going and be like, would you look at that? It's 4 a.m. I should get some sleep, fall asleep, wake up. Oh, would you look at that? It's 12. I missed 4 hours of work. Go straight to work. Like you get into that mental rotation of sleep, work, because you're losing too much time, in your opinion. And that's why, even though currently I'm working from home, I still try to wake up at 8 to 9 a.m. and do some work, no matter what, because I want to stay in that routine and that schedule of I'm going to work still and then play afterwards. And playing for me is being with friends. So when I'm working, I try to stay by myself. I try to make sure I'm working. But if your work is, streaming, then you can't separate the two. You just need to find a balance for yourself, because you're playing with friends and streaming is going to be work, and then you're playing with friends off stream is still going to be the same thing as on stream. Just one is being streamed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the biggest things that I had, like so I stream games, I stream my gameplay, and that's my kind of like work. And then when I like press the stop streaming button, and then somebody asks like, hey, do you wanna play with me? Or even my girlfriend was like, she bought a PC and she wants to play with me, and I'm like, I don't actually want to play, like it feels like work or something, and that was like really sad, because gaming used to be a nice thing, and now it has changed for me. It has changed for me, and I have to admit. But yeah, but let's go to the next one. So we're talking about streaming careers. What are your plans for the future? Are you going to conquer the world, or are you just going to stick to what you have? What do you guys have planned?
I don't know. My goals are sort of outside of, like, if I'm talking about like my long-term career, this is what I want to do before I die, kind of goals are not to do with me streaming as much as it is like streaming and gaming and influencers, if you want to call people that, as a whole. So my big dreams have always been two things, and one is to own a small like art gallery to exhibit like indie artists that aren't represented by anyone, and the other one is to own an agency that basically helps, I don't know what better word to use, influencers make brand deals, or help, like if they have a crazy idea they want to do, basically help make it happen. I guess, like, for instance, if someone wants to get a partnership with like Razer or HyperX or something, like just own the agency that would help them do that. But I also know that when I worked full-time, my goals were very different than they are now to being self-employed. So I'm also really open to, if they suddenly change and I'm like, no, you know what, I wanna just do streaming until I'm like 98 years old, then I'm fully okay for that to happen as well.
Yeah, and plans for future for my streaming career? None. I do it because it's fun. If it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, oh well. I do it for fun. That's all it's going to be. But my main goal with streaming in itself is I want to help other creators and educate on how the platform works, how the platform's progressing, how they can help themselves and stay motivated in them going forward. I don't necessarily need to see myself go forward, but I want to see those others that are in a rut, that have ideas that they're stuck with and don't know what to do with them, move forward. I want to make sure that everybody understands that the platform is big. It's huge. You're one person and there's multi-millions, but that doesn't mean you can't be something.
So Chatez says that you're going to stream and like you're not putting a lot of like thought into it. Like you're just gonna stream and see where it goes, right?
Yep.
So that kind of implies that if you're going to grow, there's some luck involved. Like it's just
100%.
So what do you think? This is for Molly as well. What do you think? What kind of role does luck have in the growth of like streaming career?
Oh my god, hugely. I think I think there is this sort of idea, not just in streaming, but in like all walks of life, but specifically in streaming, there is so much luck involved. As to, it could be, were you online when a big streamer wanted to raid a small streamer? Did you happen to, like, the algorithm place you on the recommended channel? Did you happen to be in the right place at the right time? Did you happen to be playing the right game? All that. There's so many factors that go into it. So even though I think you have more of a chance at like having a quote unquote like successful stream if you do it more and you do it regularly and all the usual stuff they tell you to do, I do think there is that essence of luck of how people find you and your stream and how many people find it and all that kind of stuff.
100%. There's luck involved, guaranteed, and there's nothing you can do about that because, again, you're one person in a pool of millions. Now imagine somebody with a bag of rice and one piece of rice is black in the middle of the bag, and you're like, here, give them tweezers and be like, pull out the black rice. There's no way that's going to happen. They almost have no chance. And while they have no chance, there are things that you can do that does influence it, though. Connections, collaborations, social media, just there are actions that you can do to mitigate how much luck is required because you're pushing yourself out there with, doesn't matter if it's, hey, Molly, you want to stream some golf with friends tomorrow? Or this podcast, for instance. Molly's viewers are coming here, thus being exposed to you and me. and now one of them is going to be like, hey, that person's pretty cool, gets exposed there, and vice versa. And it just keeps going from there. Now I've already minimized that luck a bit by bringing 3-4 more people in. So it's a matter of, there's a ton of luck in play if you don't do anything, but you can minimize it by having your Twitter going, use Instagram and take pictures, keep a constant streaming schedule, because nobody's going to want to open up a TV and being like, hey, is my favorite TV show on? I don't know if it's coming on at 5 a.m. or 9 p.m., but I'm going to sit here for 20 hours trying to figure it. Like, don't do that. Absolutely don't.
Yeah. I think you paint a nice picture, or not a nice picture. I think it's kind of depressing one. For me, I've thought this quite a bit, and I might have a little bit of trouble putting it into English, but I think luck doesn't play that big of a role. I think streamers are relying too much, especially new streamers. They think that they need a big raid. They're going to moan to some big streamers chat please host me, it's going to make me big. I've seen a huge host of thousands and thousands of people, and it's really up to the streamer whether it lands, whether it has an impact. And you really need to develop your skills as a streamer and as a person to be something that appeals to people. And if you're just there playing games, hoping for a miracle, hoping for a big raid, it's never going to happen to you. You need to develop your skills so that people want to be in your channel, in your streams. And one thing that I think is really important as well is that if you create value, if you know how to create value to the viewers, they're going to stick around. For example, I realized that, I'm playing Overwatch a lot. I've created viewer games and these community cups called Amecast, of course. and people are really loving them. And I've seen that when I create value to the viewers, they want to stick around. And I think if you're creating value, and if you're being an interesting person, if you're developing as a streamer, it's just a matter of luck when you're going to grow. That's the thing that I want to emphasize, that that luck is only the factor of when you're going to blow up. If you keep doing good stuff, you are going to blow up. It's just you don't know when. What do you guys think of that?
I don't know. I agree definitely with you that it is a skill as a streamer to keep viewers coming back, or to keep your stream growing. I think it's 50-50, honestly. I think it's 50% luck in whether people find your stream, and 50% the skill or community of the streamer. And it's what the streamer does, whether they make you feel involved. And it also depends on the kind of stream people are looking for. Because obviously some people watch for gameplay, some people watch for community, some people watch in art channels to gain skills and stuff like that. So I think it is luck, and it depends who your stream reaches and how it reaches them, and it's skill in whether you're able to keep them entertained, whether they think you're worth coming back to keep watching you.
Yeah, and you stated that you don't believe that it's plays a lot of luck, and that's because you don't rely on luck. You're putting your effort forward, and the luck isn't there for you to rely on. You're relying on your skill, your effort, your social skills, your community, the kind of things that you're putting forth as content for that to help you boost forward. And it is. And the reason why you don't see the luck is because you're not relying on it. There are people out there that hey, I'm going to hit stream and hope that one day somebody, raids me with 1,000 viewers. And they just stream every day to 1 to 5 people for 3 years. And they're like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm waiting for it to eventually happen. And they see the luck only because that's what they're relying on. But when it comes to luck in itself, it's not even close to 50-50. It's all dependent. For you, the luck could seem like 10% versus 90% effort. But for somebody else that's just streaming, hoping that something happens, they can see 90% luck with 10% effort. Their 10% effort is hitting start stream. The rest of it's just a hope someday it happens. But when it comes to luck, it's mostly mitigating it. Again, social skills, your content, what kind of effort you're putting in, your schedule, what kind of social media you're using, how far are you putting yourself out there, like there's so many things to where the effort level raises and the luck level decreases, but there will always be at least some luck that something will happen.
Yeah, surely.
So just to put it in perspective, what are the chances that a staff member working for Twitch that speaks Finnish, likes Overwatch, came here to talk on your podcast? There's so much luck that plays into it.
Yeah. It sounds like it's never gonna happen, but
exactly.
But still, here we are. Here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really interesting topic, and let's go to the next section of my podcast, and we're going to talk about community for a little while. Do you guys consider that you have created a community here on Twitch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love them dearly. They're all wonderful.
That's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah.
It's yes. Twitch in itself, a lot of people see their own small communities within Twitch, and that's absolutely wonderful. But understand that Twitch as a platform in itself is a family. Your community isn't just your community. It's shared with so many other communities, and it just keeps spreading to the point where Twitch in itself is just the community.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing about Twitch is when like people will come into my stream and be like, "Oh, dude, I was just in so and so stream and like they were talking about you," and it's like, "That's my friend too," and I'm just like, "That's so cute." Like that's I love the connections that people make through Twitch and just through the internet in general, and I just think the little crossovers that people see between streamers is just so cool and so amazing, and I love it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think community is the one that keeps you going at the end of the day. But what about you guys? How important is a community to a streamer? Like in generally speaking, can you grow without a community? Or are there like some streamers that don't have a community?
No, I think you have to have one. Because I guess like another definition for community is like core audience, I guess. And even if you go into a stream of like, I don't know, like XQC who has like 100,000 people watching, even if that doesn't feel like a communal thing because there's so many people there, that's still his community. They still have that shared interest and they've still grown from nothing.
Yeah, and if you're not inside the community and all you see is like, "Hey, let me open up this stream," and the chat's just like spamming it, like I can't read anything. I see a couple emojis and just random words spamming through. Like you don't see the community there, but as soon as you like join one of the Discords or you check out what they're actually doing on Twitter, you see the community, and it's really deep. And it's not just XQC, it's the mods, it's the people that are up there, the VIPs that are actually working their ass off to make sure things are clean. It's the people that are not even close to being like anybody up there with power that are trying to help answer questions for them to mitigate what the main streamer, in this case XQC, has to do. And so whatever you do, it's going to always, no matter what, build a community. And if you don't have a community, then you're just back to Molly sitting in a room with the stream off, playing the game, talking to herself. Like what? It just gets back to that.
Yeah, that's true. I've always thought this, like I have this one idea in my mind where like the community a streamer gets or creates around like the person, it kind of like represents the person who's streaming. What do you think of that? Is the community similar to the content creator?
I think so, because I think I spoke about like shared interests earlier. I think to even hang around in a stream, you have to feel some kind of connection to the streamer, and whether it's a shared interest or whether it's a shared personality trait or a shared sense of humor. I think you have to sort of feel some connection to that person. And so even if you are very different to like 5 other people in chat, there'll be someone in there who you have something in common with, because that's why you will keep turning up there, or that's why you stayed and that's why you chat, because you have something in common somewhere.
Yeah. For the most part, the streamer does mold the community. But then again, there's some points in time where you really can't do nothing about it, and it's not the streamer that molds the community. It's the community that molds the streamer, because if you get somebody like XQC rating you, and then you're like, what is this? Papega, Pog you, what are these things? And then like you slowly start to integrate and learn that you become one of them, and thus your community builds you. And now you're one of the community and you get accepted in. And it's no longer you built your community, it's your community built you. And again, you still have a community at the end of the day, something that you can relate to and be with.
Right. Woody the Heretic has a good point that mods, like moderators, have a role in shaping the community and the experience. What do you think of that? Are the mods important? Like, how do you see your mods in your chat?
One of my mods is here, so I need to be careful what I say.
Oh, come on. Juicy details. Let's
Give us the juice.
No, I think it is. I think you can't have mods that don't represent you or the community you want to build, because it just, if you have conflicting ideals kind of thing and they see something as like A-okay, whereas you're like, oh, I don't really want that kind of, I don't know, language or jokes in my chat or something, it's gonna build a very different feel in the chat, because mods are there to ideally make sure the people in the chat or the stuff being spoken about are what you deem as acceptable. So if you have a very different idea of what is acceptable from your mods, then it's not, you're going to end up clashing. So I feel like mods and streamer have to be on the same page about like ideals, interests, what is okay, what is not okay. And with that shapes the chat and the community itself.
Oh, absolutely. It's again having the same mindset as your mods, or having your mods at least understand what kind of things are unacceptable and acceptable in your chat, that shapes how you want to build your community if you're building it yourself. The mods absolutely are there to shape it the way you want it to be shaped. So if there's something specifically that you don't like and the mods understand that, they will ban it or time it out. But if you're sitting there and being like, hey, I don't like that line, and then your mod goes, I don't think it's too bad, you're like, can you time that out? And they're like, wow. I mean, I could, but now you're not arguing with the trolls, you're arguing with your mod who's supposed to be defending you. So if you get to that point, then
yeah.
But for me, my mods aren't there to moderate for me. They're there to take the obviously common sense bad stuff out. Everything else, for me personally, I don't care, because I don't get offended. I really don't. Like, I can skip that. I can ignore it. Like, if something goes by, like, hey, you got a big forehead, and like it just goes by, like, I don't care. But if it's something that's like blatantly racist or political, or they're trying to like pull strings, then I'll the mods will take that out. But otherwise, I don't expect them to do anything. I just expect them to want to keep the chat as clean as possible from being overly bad, if you understand what I mean. Other than that, they can just, they're there to have a good time. They're viewers, they're just doing their thing. If they don't want a mod, then they don't have to be mod. I'll just clean it out myself. I'm not currently at that point where I have viewers in a sense of I can't keep track of it. But then again, that's what auto mod is for.
Yeah.
Right. I think mods are really important. Like the streamer is the streamer is setting the tone, but the streamer can't really set the tone in the chat. Like the streamer is not in the chat, but the mods are. So in a sense, the mods are like controlling the tone of the chat in a sense, and what can be said, and like how can you communicate, and everything like that. And I've actually seen some really like bad mods in some channels. And if you go to, let's say I raid somebody and I see like a really rude like mod who is like downplaying the raid, or like why are you like spamming this emote or something, it keeps me it keeps me from going there like ever again. Like it's just a bad impression. And I think mods do like an important job, and we should appreciate our mods. I'm giving a clap to every mod in my channel. Thank you for a good job for setting the tone. And sorry if people hate you. By the way, and there was another question that came into my mind. How do you determine how many mods do you have, and how do you what is the policy you have so that people can come and take the mod sword? Like how do you make that decision?
I have had like between 2 and 3 mods, just because I am quite a small streamer and stuff, so I don't think I need any more than that. I had 2 for a long time, and then I brought on a third one just because time zones. I stream quite late for UK time, and my 2 mods were from the UK, and I was like, I don't want you to have to feel like you have to stay up later than you want to because you want to moderate. You should be able to sleep when you want. Don't feel pressure. So I brought on someone in the US time zone to help with that, and also just because I felt that it sort of alleviates a bit of pressure when, like, I don't ever want my mods to feel like they have to be at every stream or they have to be there the whole time. So I sort of just have as many as I think will be helpful for making their lives easier. And for picking them, my first 2 mods were from when I very first started streaming to a schedule and streaming regularly. So it was just, they were there, they were really nice. I knew that they'd had experience modding beforehand, so they knew how it all worked. And then when I brought my third mod on, he had actually approached me when I'd mentioned I wanted to get a mod for stream in the US time zone. And he actually approached me and was like, I'd love to volunteer, you don't have to pick me. And I knew that he'd been at a lot of streams, and I knew that he and I were on the same page kind of thing. So that was sort of just, I know some streamers have like an official process in which they have like Google forms and they like interview people and stuff like that. But I was just kind of like, I know we're on the same page of what we agree is bad and what is good in a Twitch chat. And I know that, you are wonderfully willing to dedicate your time. So if you don't, like I always say, like, if you don't mind, you can say no. I don't want you to feel pressured into saying yes. But if you want to be a mod, I'd love to have you as one if that's okay.
Yeah, and in an aspect for me, it's actually not looking for somebody. It's people that I see that are constantly, talking properly and helping out without even asking them to. And like, If I'm playing the game and they're like, "Hey, what GPU does he have?" and then somebody like sits there and like gives them the answer without having to be like all cocky, like just go check in the description. Why haven't you read that? Like, if somebody I see is blatantly being helpful, I don't necessarily ask them to be mod. I just mod them. And if they like it, they like it. But again, I don't expect them to do anything. I just know that person's being helpful. Now they have even more ability to be helpful. If they don't want to do anything with it, don't care. Like, it's just, I need to see those people. And now that we have VIP, it's the same thing. I give people VIP that are helpful. So those are the lines that I need to see in chat. So it's the ones that I want to make sure they're like giving helpful hints, or they're saying something, or there's something that I need to see. Those are the ones that I look for. And so I just give it to them. And if something goes bad, I just take it away. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Oh no, they're gonna ban everybody. Well, I have the command to unban everybody. It's nothing too bad. So yeah, I just, there you go. You're being helpful. Have mod.
Yeah. Why not? I think my like views on the modding has changed a little bit, or like evolved. Like when I first begun, I was like a little bit like whenever I got a chatting guy on my chat, or like a really active guy, I was like, I really want to mod this guy so he will feel special and needed, and maybe I did that for a couple of chatters. But I think my view is that if somebody proves to be like really respectful and like decent human being, and sharing my I think some sort of like a worldview and even justice system, that I think that it makes sense to mod those viewers. And I think it's in my channel it's just shown like a show of appreciation, if something like that, if it makes any sense.
Yep.
And but these days I'm not modding that easily anymore. I think I have quite a bit of mods considering my size. I think I have like 10 or maybe even more. And I don't really need any more mods, but I don't want to change my policy, because I think my policy is actually pretty good. So if somebody proves to be valuable and they want to be a part of the community, and they have proven themselves, so I'm still modding new people, but I'm just not doing it that much. Do you think there's a nice number? Like if you have 50 concurrent viewers, you should have 5.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I think whatever feels good for you.
Exactly. You could have one mod that's so accurate with like 300 viewers that just like on top of it. But it all depends on who you have as mod. So some people might need 15, like me. I just have like 10, but only 2 do something. The other like 8 are like brothers, you know, people that I trust, people that have been around. I even have people that I've known for 8 years. There's like, I was like, I need somebody to mod. They're like, hey, can I mod? I'm like, no, I don't trust you. I know how trolly you are. I don't care how long I've known you. You're never getting it. And yeah, there's just people that I do not trust with it. Yeah. But there's people that are enough to where it's like, here, you can have it. I don't care if you do something. If you do one day, thank you. If you don't, it's okay.
I have a worst example of one moderator. There's an Overwatch streamer called Arge. I'm not sure if you know. He's a Finnish Hanzo one trick. But anyway, we talked with him like a week ago on my podcast, and he told me that he knows, like he's known for having a lot of like toxic stream snipers. Like people are actively stream sniping him because they hate him, and one of those stream snipers who actively snipe him is a mod of another Overwatch, like a pretty substantial channel. So that's probably one of the worst mods I've ever heard, because in some sense I think mods need to have some sense of decency. And if they're like stream sniping and doing it actively, I think that gives a little bad impression on the channel you're modding.
Yeah.
That's where you got to get to know your mods, because if you give it to somebody and it's somebody who's power hungry, you need to watch for that, because they might not be power hungry to you, and they might be like all nice and like modding correctly for what you want, but then they're going to be like, hey, I'm in this 3,000 viewer chatter, and like the chat's crazy, and they have like 10,000 subs, and I'm a mod, so you need to listen to me because I know my job. They do that, and there's not much you can do other than be like, hey, just, you're not in that channel anymore. This is my channel. Stop.
Yeah.
I've actually seen quite like worrying behavior on some bigger channel, like regulars. Like I can't remember what I was like, I was checking Andy Pyro. I was checking Andy Pyro. He's probably the biggest Finnish streamer.
Yep.
And I was asking Andy Pyro something in the chat, and he had a viewer, like he had like tens of months of subscription, so he probably like thought that he was entitled to speak for him. So he said, he answered for me like, well, he thinks like this. Like I thought I was generally like a little bit of, well, I was confused and a little bit of like upset about it. Like he's a regular came and talk like he thinks like this.
Yep.
What do you guys think of this?
I think your mods represent you. Like I think like you were talking about the stream sniping thing. I think that gives I don't know, like I don't feel it reflects the streamer that he mods for, but it does kind of give you that like icky feeling about it. So I don't feel like your mods should speak for you. I just feel like they reflect you, if that makes sense. They aren't like they aren't there to stream for you or fill in the knowledge of you. I hope that makes sense.
Yep.
But they do reflect you, and I think it's an important distinction.
Yeah. The mods definitely are not you. You're not going to get the same answers. So if I ask the mods like, hey, what's Ame think about, dark chocolate? They're going to be like, he said before that he hates it, but you might like it now. Who knows? But you don't expect the mods to be the streamer, like she said, but they do represent you in some fashion, especially if they're bringing it up like, hey, I'm a mod for X and I think you're bad. Like, ooh, does this streamer know about what the mod's doing? Or like, is this an open thing? Because then you can take it up with them and be like, hey, I have seen this streamer and here's some screenshots. They're doing this, blah, blah, blah. If the streamer wants to do something about it, they will. If they blatantly ignore you and they know what's going on, then you know that's somewhere you don't go again. That's not the community for you. Stay away from it.
Yeah. Have you guys had any drama in your communities? And if so, how did you deal with that?
I don't think so. I think I've been really lucky that I happen to have just had really nice people that I've gotten along. I do worry just in general of like having so many people in one place. Is anyone gonna like, I guess, cause friction with another? Is anyone gonna disagree with one another and it's all gonna kick off? But I've been really lucky that everyone's pretty respectful of like different opinions. Everybody's like pretty okay with each other. So I've gotten away unscathed so far. Everyone seems to be getting on okay. I haven't had any arguments, haven't had really many like trolls coming in. So I've done okay so far.
Yeah, recently, no. Back in the day, yes. Back in the day when Twitch first started and everybody was hot shit, like everybody was the top thing. Yeah, of course. But the main thing is diffuse it as fast as possible. Two people arguing, hey, John, Bill, take that to DMs, not my chat. And then you don't give any more recognition to it. They continue, your mods know, time them both out, they'll take it to DMs. You don't sit there and give it recognition and fuel the fire. There are some streamers out there that will fuel the troll though, but that's just content for them because they're doing it as a joke. And then after about 10 minutes, the joke's too old, ban them. If they keep continuing. But it's different for a lot of people. But in most cases for drama, you just tell them, hey, stop. They don't listen. You can make them stop. Like you have the button to force them to stop.
Yeah. I think that's something I recognize myself doing, and that's a big and a nice piece of advice, that don't feed the drama. Take it to DMs. There's gotta be, when there's people involved, there's always like that a seed of drama lurking around, and if you don't like treat it in DMs, it's going to come to the public, or if that makes any sense. So do it in a DM, and that makes more sense. We actually had I had a pretty big drama on my community when we had this like a really psychopath viewer who was blatantly lying about everything. He like this was really like, this is unbelievable, but he created like this whole network of lies, and I thought it was true. Like everyone else thought it was true, but the stories just kept on going to more unbelievable. And at one point, he actually he said that, okay, I'm going to stream now, and we got to watch him, or some of us did, and it turns out like he was fake. Like everything he did was fake. Like he told he was a musician, like a rapper or something, and he showed us his clips and music, and I gave him advice, and he was like really like, oh, I'm getting all this attention, and he kept on going with it. But then he streamed, and he probably didn't know like we were watching, and he looked nothing like the guy he posted links about, and it turns out he was like a psychopath, like I don't know, like liar person. It was such a good meme, and he actually created like a bunch of accounts and followed me, and came up with more lies. Like now I'm the trucker from Colorado, and then we asked him like, what's your favorite route, like in the Colorado, and like he had no idea, like he was some 15-year-old kid. It was so funny. So
Actually I didn't want to interrupt.
No, I'm done.
I actually had a similar thing with a viewer who used to be a regular. They don't come by my channel anymore, and they did a similar thing where they were a bodybuilder at one point. They also were moving to Korea. They'd been picked up by a League of Legends professional team. Then they decided not to move to Korea. They had moved to Korea at one point and had done it for a couple of weeks, then decided it wasn't for them, and then they'd come back to the US and joined the military and all this stuff. And I, because obviously anyone can be whoever they want to be on the internet, and obviously some people lead very interesting lives. So at first I was like, okay, you could have done all this stuff in the space of a year. Okay, I'll take it. But it just got to the point where like it all happened so fast. Where I was like, so you went to South Korea, you moved there for a couple of weeks, then you moved back, then you joined the military, then you were a bodybuilder, and it's just all this stuff. And I guess it is just on the internet, you can be whoever you fancy being.
Getting that juicy attention. That's all it is. As long as the streamer pays attention to me, I've succeeded.
Yes.
Exactly. Wow. Well. But to a more positive note, have you guys made any in real life friends from your streaming career? And have you met any of your viewers in real life?
Yeah. Two of my best friends, like my current best friends, I actually met through Twitch. One before I started streaming, the other one whilst I was streaming. And yeah, so it's wonderful. They're wonderful. I love them. And it is my favorite part about Twitch. And we have this thing in the UK twice a year called Twitch London, and it's basically a free party. Do you go to Twitch London?
I live in London.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's very exciting. Yeah, so we have Twitch London twice a year over here, and it's like a free party you can go to, run by Fremily, who are a husband and wife streamer, and they organize it. And so I've been to that twice, and I've been really lucky that like if any of my viewers or mods or anything or friends are able to go, we can all like use that as like a meetup space, because I know there are horror stories of people that have met up on the internet, and obviously people turn out not to be who they say they are. And so I like that there's like these little Twitch London spaces that are basically safe meetup spaces for everyone to just go and have fun and have a drink if you want, and it's a good time. So if you ever make it to London, you should come to Twitch London.
That sounds like a blast. I really want to come.
Definitely. It's Twitch London's one of the smaller ones. It's just a smaller meetup compared to the others, but the huge one that was supposed to be this year, of course, is Amsterdam. That was going to be the best thing, and then now we're here in quarantine, so we can't have that. But yeah, I've met a ton of people through streaming. Most of the people that I've met through streaming, even from the beginning, I've known for like 9 years now through streaming, and I still talk to them to this day. So absolutely, with streaming and your community, you can meet people that you're going to talk to potentially for the rest of your life, as well as meeting them online. There's a couple people that are probably watching this stream right now that I've met in real life. So it's really nice to see the faces and not just the username.
Yeah.
But then it becomes a problem because I keep calling them a username and not their real name, and then I don't know whether or not they want me to keep calling them their real name or their username in real life. So now you're like, hey,
True.
You're Blue, but your real name is John.
Yeah, I'm even known as Ame in real life. I love it. I love it. But yeah, for me, definitely, I've met some of my people from community, and it's been really great. Like we've actually had, like, me and my girlfriend, we've had this a little bit of like how do you say it? Well, like we've been doing these regular trips to different parts of Finland, and to meet the people who are living all across Finland. I'm actually really stoked for this international career, if you can say that, so that I can actually go somewhere like abroad and meet you guys there. That would be the best thing ever. Maybe Twitch London one day, maybe.
Yeah.
But let's go to the last part of the podcast. We're going to talk about Twitch, and we're all streaming on Twitch, and that's actually how I met you. And why did you guys start streaming on Twitch in the first place? Like, were there any other platforms, or was it just Twitch was the only one?
At the time, I think Twitch was the only one. I think I hadn't even heard of like Mixer, YouTube gaming, and Facebook gaming. Like live streaming didn't really exist, so I think Twitch was like the only one at the time. So I just went straight to Twitch.
For me, I was already on Justin watching people, and Justin switched into Twitch, so I was like, whatever. I just stayed on the same platform. I knew about Xfire and I knew about all the other platforms that were going on at the time, but none of them really caught my eye because Justin was the one that did gaming. And then Justin TV was like, hey, what about we do a gaming streaming site? I was like, my video games are coming to its own place. So I went straight onto it, and that's why I started.
Yeah, to me, I actually didn't know a lot about game streaming when I started. I thought Twitch was pretty much the only one. And I think it kind of was, even though there were probably some other possibilities. And now the streaming platform like this situation is looking more interesting. And would you guys consider changing the platform if something changes in the future?
I've always said that I'm not a Twitch loyalist. Like, I love Twitch and I think it is amazing, and what they've done is amazing. And right now, I don't think there is a better streaming platform than Twitch. But I also know that the internet is such a competitive place that maybe something will spring up to replace it. Maybe Twitch will, I don't know, suddenly decide they don't want to exist anymore. It's not going to happen, but in a hypothetical world, maybe. So as much as I wouldn't change right now or at any point in the foreseeable future, I'm not like, I will be Twitch until I die. I'm never leaving the platform. I'll do whatever I think would be best for I guess my community, and like whatever's easiest for them. If like half my community is suddenly like, oh, we only watch Mixer now, I'll be like, you know what, I'll consider it. But I don't think there's anything that could compete with Twitch in the near future.
No. It's just straightforward. No. Twitch is where I started. Twitch is where I found all my friends and family. It's become my home. Staying. Like, I just love it way too much. And it's not the fact that there are potential other good competitors out there, such as Mixer, YouTube Gaming, and everything like that. It's just a fact of the amount of experience and time I've had with Twitch. Nothing's going to feel the same if I moved to another platform. This is just where all of my memories have happened and have grown. I'm sticking to it. I'm not going to let it down. And if something does go downhill, I'm going to pick it back up. I swear to God.
Now that's some dedication right there. To me, like, I love Twitch. I love the culture of Twitch. I think when we're talking about like live streaming culture, it's Twitch. Like, there is no other live streaming culture, and that's one of the things that people really like. Like, they don't think that's YouTube gaming or Facebook gaming or Mixer or any of these other platforms. They don't really have their own thing going on. Like, it's just Twitch. And people are going to Shroud chat and spam lul and all these other Twitch emotes kind of sums it up. And I love that. But I think I'm considering my streaming career to be somewhat like a business. I think of it as a business, and if at some point it would be better for my channel to be somewhere else, I wouldn't rule it out. I would weigh the options, but to be honest, Twitch is probably the way to go, even in like a longer time period. But yeah, this is really interesting because we've got a lot of things going on. What do you guys actually think of the streamer like thing that we have? We have now Mixer, we have YouTube Gaming, Facebook Gaming, and we've seen some big deals like Ninja, Shroud leaving, all these other big streamers. Like, what do you think of it? What's happening?
I am a fairly cynical person when it comes to big, I don't know what word to use, conglomerates, I guess. And obviously all the large streaming platforms are owned by very big companies, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. And so I know that as an individual, whatever platform I stream on, they won't care about me, which is why I'm so open to changing platform. I know that like higher up, it's how they can make money at the end of the day. The people on the platform are wonderful, but the people at the very, very top that own it just see it as like a numbers thing, which is why I'm so open to doing it. And I felt that a lot when Mixer paid for Ninja to come over to their platform, because in my opinion, if I was a Mixer streamer, I would have been incredibly upset that they were pouring this money into a streamer from another platform. Whereas, like, for instance, if I was already a Mixer streamer, I've given you my dedication, I've given you my brand loyalty. Why not pour that money into making a better platform for me, who is a Mixer streamer, rather than, I know their idea was like, oh, the more people that don't visit that website, they'll come over onto, Mixer. But I mean, it didn't work. Not all of Ninja's viewers, he doesn't get the same numbers that he did on Twitch. And I don't know, it just felt a little, if I was a Mixer streamer, I would have been really pissed off that they're spending all this money on already established streamers and not helping out the people that have been loyal to them, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just think you should help the people already on your platform and market your platform, as opposed to giving contracts to people that didn't want anything to do with your platform.
Yeah, buying the people that are off platform is marketing the platform as well. Because
I know.
now it's like, yeah, but it feels shitty to the people that don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And it's, in that sense, yeah, it's really upsetting to those like, hey, I've been here since the start, and now you're bringing on this guy, and I've gotten no recognition when I was the top for a couple of years. And that can happen. But in the long run, with all these other streaming platforms coming out, competition is always good, because that allows for the streaming platforms to understand what portions and what parts of the platforms the users like, and modify it to the best extent, and that keeps every platform on their toes to keep trying to move forward and make new features and fix things that are causing issues. Because if one person's not going to fix an issue and brings up new features, while the other one is fixing issues but bringing features out slowly, you're probably going to go to the one that's more stable and friendly, that has less features, rather than the one that doesn't work but has like a billion features.
Yeah, to me, I think what Molly said, that they should have put the money into like making the streamers' life better, that who were already there. Yeah, it makes sense, but this way, surely, like some of the viewers are like, I hate this term, but trickling down. Like surely, like when Shroud and Ninja came there, it gave a lot of like benefits and new viewership to the existing streamers as well. And I've checked recently, like I've checked every week and how Mixer is doing, and I realized that the games that the biggest, like those big purchases, like brought, so Ninja with Fortnite and Shroud with like PUBG, Apex Legends, like other shooters, basically, those games are doing pretty well. Like they are growing, and I'm not sure whether it's like Shroud and Ninja like hosting those or doing collaboration or whatever, but I see those games growing, so it's working, and there's actually benefits for the other streams as well. But what do you guys think? Is because right now I think I'm not sure, like the proportions of, let's say, viewership hours on all those different streaming platforms, I think it's roughly like Twitch has like 70% or even more, and then basically YouTube, Facebook, and Mixer are just like competing for the remainders. So do you think that that's going to change in the near future or in the long-term future?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that.
Yeah. Just go on.
I don't think it will. I obviously am not a live stream platform owner or business person, but I don't think it will, simply because I guess from my personal preferences, why would I visit Mixer or Facebook Gaming or YouTube when I could just come to Twitch? Like, why would I don't think those platforms offer anything that Twitch doesn't already. And as Twitch has been out longer, it has, in my opinion, better features. It's easy to navigate. It's better if you're starting streaming. They have like creator camp and stuff now. And I don't know why you would choose to, even just to watch if you're not streaming, I don't know why you'd choose to go to another platform that isn't Twitch. I guess YouTube maybe, just because that's where Let's Plays got really popular, possibly, if there's already a community there. But I just think Twitch for now just offers everything that it needs to its audience and to its streamers. There's no reason to go anywhere else or for you to visit anywhere else. So I don't think Twitch is going to lose its audience anytime soon.
Yeah, for me, one of my favorite streamers that I used to watch all the time was King Athalion, and he moved to Mixer. And that move really didn't change anything for me because I still watch him. Like, he's still one of my, like, I'm watching for the personality, not for the platform. And when it comes to actually streaming on the platform, it depends on what you're looking for. Are you in it for the long game? Are you willing to put in the effort to run against all the other millions on Twitch and want to get through that? Then try that. If you're looking for something like, hey, the chat is too weird for me and it doesn't feel personal, you want to go to Facebook Gaming, where everybody has to use their real name in the chats, and now like it's a real personal level. Some people go to that because you're running against a lot lower pool of people, but of course your peak is a lot lower too. So you might get to 500 to 1,000 faster, but you're not going to hold any more than that if you don't move platform, unless those platforms start to change. So every platform is going to continue to change. But for me right now, Twitch again is I don't see why I need to use any other platform when Twitch has always had what I needed.
Yeah, I have two concerns of when it comes to Twitch. Like these are like big things that could potentially lead to like a falling in the proportion that we talked about, and that could lead to like a victory of some other platform. The first one is that I think Twitch's like infrastructure when it comes to the actual website, I think the coding of the site is like obsolete. Like I think it's outdated, it's slow, it even crashes a little bit. Like it feels like the whole thing is held together with a duct tape. That's how I feel. Like whenever we get a new feature, there's gonna be some bugs. We're gonna like next time I come to Twitch, I'm not seeing my followers. Like my chat is bugging out. Like it feels like Twitch has a lot of these like coding issues, and I'm a little bit worried about Twitch because I'm not sure if you can fix those without like redoing the whole site. And I think Mixer, out of all these different platforms, has the best coding. Like Mixer feels very, very like fluent. It seems like the streaming quality is better, even for some reason. And I just think like it's put together with like modern technology. And I think the problem with Twitch is that it's like based upon an old website. And do you guys think the same way? Twitch is a little bit of outdated when it comes to the technology. We lost Molly.
My Discord crashed. I'm so sorry.
We can still see.
It just suddenly restarted itself. I'm back.
My comment was too shocking. Your Discord.
I'm sorry. Repeat that. It just restarted for some reason.
Speaking of technology, all right, but we're back. So, what do you think, Molly?
I am not the best person to ask about technology because I am terrible with it. I think I'm just very chill when stuff breaks. Like if Twitch suddenly has a day where like streams aren't working or like chat isn't working, I'm just like, that's just how it is for the day. So I think if it bothered me more, maybe I could comment more on it, but I'm just like, just chat isn't working today. That's okay. We'll chat in Discord, or I'll just talk to myself today. So I think that kind of like technical issues doesn't bother me. The only thing that would bother me if it's like it's impossible to start up streaming sort of thing. Other than that, everything else I can make do with.
Yeah, when it comes to the infrastructure and how the site works, and comparing it to that of like latency times for streams on Mixer, you have to also take into account how many people are actually active watching, getting transcodes, actually streaming on the platforms as well. And while the Mixer's platform has like a half a second, maybe less, a fourth of a second, like latency between stream and viewer, I mean, a Twitch 1 second delay is not bad. Like, my delays for most streams is 1.3 seconds. And you should have the statistics on every stream where you can click the cog on the settings and go to advanced and see video stats. It tells you the latency to the broadcaster. So, in most cases, you're looking at about 1 second to 2 seconds. And I don't see, like, why would you move to another platform because of a couple seconds of latency, for instance? If the chat's not working and it's crashing and stuff like that, of course it gets frustrating. And at that point, you're like, man, this sucks. But say, for instance, Discord crashes. You're not going to be like, oh, this is crashing second time today. Fucking, I'm moving to Skype. Like, there's no way you're going to do that. You're just going to wait and be upset and then come back the next day and be like, oh, Discord's working again.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go back to regular life. So the infrastructure being somewhat more packed or outdated isn't going to really throw you away. There's no way in hell you're just going to be like, this thing's messed up. I'm leaving for good. And if you do, then hopefully the other platform treats you better.
Yeah, it's not just the latency between the streamer and the audience. Really, it's everything. Like when you go to Mixer, you get these like neat previews. Like if you put your cursor on top of a streamer, you see like live preview, like an actual video image of what's happening. That's really cool. And I think like how everything works in Mixer is it's like 2020. It's not like Twitch's 2012.
So the question would be, Ame, do those features make you want to move to Mixer?
No, not alone.
See?
Not
See? Like, then the argument for that states that it's nice to have there, but it really doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter, but it's not a game breaking deal. It's not a game breaking thing.
It's something that's nice.
Yeah. But I had another point. So I said I have two big concerns. One of the is the technology, and the other one being Twitch's policies. And we've seen you've all seen these countless like dramas when it comes to like the big Twitch streamers who toss their cats and basically show too much, and we all know this drama, and that could be a potential issue for Twitch. If some other side, I'm not saying it's Mixer, I'm not saying it's YouTube, but if we get a more sensible, more fair toss, and the actions of toss, that could be a huge thing for the streamers. I think so. What do you guys think?
Maybe I put too much trust into Twitch, because earlier I was saying I don't trust giant like conglomerate machines, but maybe I put too much trust in Twitch, that I feel like whenever I believe someone has done something against like terms of service maybe and they haven't been punished for it, I always think there has to be a reason behind it, because it is bad publicity for Twitch to not ban somebody for doing something against terms of service. So there has to be a reason behind it, I think, is how I reason with it. Like they obviously had a reason, or it's not against their terms of service, or they couldn't do anything about it, or I feel like it's just it looks bad on Twitch to not follow their own rules. So there has to be a bigger reason that they're not going to tell anyone that, and that's why. And so I'm just sort of like, there's nothing I can, like, I've always said to friends or anything, you vote on Twitch with your view. In a way, you vote with your view. So if I don't agree with a decision Twitch makes on punishing a streamer or banning a streamer or suspending them, I just won't watch that streamer. And other people, if you don't agree with it, just don't give that channel attention. You vote with your view, you vote with your subs, you vote with your bits and stuff like that. So I think just if you don't agree with something Twitch does, they have their reasons. You then, even if you don't agree with it, you then have to do what you believe is okay and just not give that channel attention anyway. That's sort of how I feel about it. They'll have their reasons and I'll have mine, sort of thing.
Yeah, so she pretty much summed it up. There's not much more to say to that. It's you vote with your view. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Stay away from it. But if you honestly think they did something wrong, report the channel, give the information, leave. Let it be. If something doesn't happen, there's got to be a reason why something didn't happen, but you just have to trust in what judgment they make. That's as much as you can do. The other than that, I mean, you can go on Reddit and start a forest fire and be like, "Hey, I don't like this. I don't like it." But in the in the end, it's just is that going to destroy your stream? Are you gonna let like somebody else's mistake make or kind of shape your content and how you feel about something?
I don't know how to answer to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the few things Ninja and I think his manager wife told to the public was that one of their biggest reasons they left to Mixer was that they felt that Twitch wasn't really a good partner. Like they didn't, when they reached out to Twitch, they got little answer. And they said that Twitch was hard to work with, and that was one of the biggest reasons they moved. So that's one of the reasons why I'm putting it to the list of the potential threats of Twitch. Of if they're not easy to work with, if like to me it feels well with Chatez actually it feels a little bit better. Like I feel like Twitch is more in my stream than it was previously before I met you. But like Twitch, I think in general speaking to streamers feels like this distant boss kind of figure, like on top of some mountain or tower, and they're just like ruling like you're banned, you're partnered, you're banned. Like I don't know if this makes any sense, but it feels like Twitch is distant. And whenever I post like my support, support pages or whatever, I email you guys, I get like these automated answers. It doesn't feel like it's in person. It doesn't feel like I'm talking to a person. It feels like I'm talking to a bot.
Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying, but as I mentioned earlier, Twitch is a huge website. It is owned by an even bigger company, and I think one of the things that I started seeing on Twitter when I like just follow Mixer streamers on Twitter was like their whole thing of like, I sent in a support ticket and I got a reply back like 2 hours later. And then on Twitch you don't get that, but you also have to account for the amount of users on Twitch. So yes, it sucks that you can't have a personal relationship with the people higher up in Twitch. It is part of it growing. It benefits streamers and community members for it to grow. It benefits obviously Twitch to grow. And so I think with growth just comes that lack of like personal connection to the website. And I used to, like, when I was a kid, I grew up watching YouTube in its early days, and I saw that sort of go along the same path where YouTube partners felt like they were getting screwed over because YouTube wasn't paying attention to their needs. But that is just part of growing. That's part of the website getting bigger. That's part of them employing more people. And you could argue that maybe they could do more to keep up with the growth. But again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know how many people they employ. We don't know how they make the decisions that they do. And they're going to do what is best for them, which in turn, hopefully, is what's best for its streamers and users. Because if people keep using the website and they like it, more people are going to keep using the website. And then that's good for both Twitch and for us. So ideally, they are doing what is best for its users and its streamers, you'd like to think.
Yeah, and as it was saying, like, it doesn't feel too personal when it comes to Twitch answering things. But again, especially in times like right now, there's people in quarantine and like everybody's using it. And now that people are like, hey, I don't have a job, I'm going to get back on Twitch, or I can't log into my account. The automated responses kind of suck, but do note that they're not automated, they're pre-generated. So somebody is answering you, and if you don't like it, you can respond and you will get a personalized message most of the time. But in cases like this, where there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people, constantly asking for the same issue, I can't write personal messages to every single person. I want to make sure that instead of making sure every one of you feels like I'm personally helping you, that as many of you get into your damn accounts as fast as possible so you can have fun. So rather than having you sit there being like, wow, this robot helped me, I'd rather you be like, wow, this robot actually just helped me. That's it. Like the fact that you're in your account, that's all I want. Please go.
Sogi has a good question. Would you say Twitch support is understaffed?
Well, it's always there's technicalities. Like, again, quarantine time, we're getting a lot more. It's just so many more people wanting to use the platform. But it's a matter of sometimes it'll feel like that, sometimes it won't. If you're having a good time on the platform, there's no reason for you to like write in a ticket, right? But then as soon as you're going to be like, no streams are rendering, I'm going to write in a ticket. But if that's site-wide, everybody's writing in a ticket. We have to answer all of you. So it depends on the situation. But I personally do my best to make sure everybody gets answered, in a way that makes them happy. If you come back and, you don't like the answer, you'll try to get a new one. Yeah, get a personalized, like, actual explanation of what's going on.
All right, fair enough. By the way, Chatez,
yep.
Why am I not getting drops in Valorant?
Okay, so you're not. The reason why you're not getting drops is because you're too competitive in Overwatch, and now Blizzard's mad.
Damn. I knew it. So yeah. It was me.
Riot's been watching you play them Blizzard games.
Right. No, I have no hours. 0 hours in Riot games. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's it. All right. But to a more Twitch positive side, we actually have a bunch of new features. We actually listed them on the Amecast planning Discord group. So here's a list that we came up with. So we've gotten channel points, we got an hype train, we're getting an offline page really soon, I believe. We're getting we got a dashboard rework, we got a moderator view, we have bits tier emotes, we got hype train custom notifications, then we got like new blocking users attributes. So if you block someone, they're pretty much like banned from your chat, like with everything. And then we got leaderboards and probably something that I missed. So we've got like 10 new features in the half year, like the past half year alone. But the question really that I want to ask you, which ones of these did you really appreciate? And were there something that we're still missing?
I personally love the new channel points feature, because my biggest thing for Twitch is, like, what I always say to my viewers is like, I am just grateful that anyone wants to spend their time in my channel, because they could like do whatever the heck they wanted, but they come and choose to spend it in my channel. So I don't ever want anyone to feel that like if they can't sub or they can't like give bits or anything like that, I'd ever want them to feel like they're not like important or contributing in some way. So the channel points feature has been like my favorite thing that Twitch has implemented into the actual website, because it rewards you for your time and not necessarily how interactive you are with the stream, but you get more channel points if you like are chatting rather than just like having the stream open in a tab kind of thing. So it rewards you for your time, which I love, because it means that this sort of monetary value is a little less, I guess, a little less like on this pedestal kind of thing. So I love that. The bit tier emotes, love that, just because as an affiliate, more emotes is always like my favorite thing ever. And then I did the preview thing of the new channel page that Twitch is introducing, and I am scared of new things, but I really like it. I think it is what channel pages needed. I think there was so much stuff on Twitch that was unnecessary, such as like being able to like premiere videos and stuff that people weren't really using. But being able to have people come to your channel when you're offline and encouraging them to come back is such a helpful thing. So I love that new page. And then the behind the scenes stuff, like the dashboard and the moderator view. The mod view is really handy. I don't mod for anyone, but my mods have said they really like it, so hopefully they're not lying. And then the new dashboard, I personally didn't like when it first started. I preferred the old dashboard, but my way of thinking with stuff like that is, when I was a kid, Facebook changed its freaking layout so often and so much, and everybody always hated the new one. And then within about a month, everyone forgot what the previous one was. So it's just what you get used to in the end of the day. So I like all the new stuff that Twitch has put in, and it seems to have all come like really close together. Like, it's not like we get one feature a year. It's like a new feature every month or two at the moment, which is so quickly. I think it's amazing. I think the only thing that I don't like is, I guess it's more of a personal conflict within myself, is that Twitch it's a business, and so they are always trying to make people spend more money on bits and subs and stuff like that. So I feel a little iffy with hype trains, just because I don't like encouraging people to spend money when they shouldn't have to feel they should spend money. But at the end of the day, Twitch is a business, and it means that if people do want to give their money, they're being rewarded for it in some way. So, yeah, I went through each one. I just had a lot to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's all right.
For the most part, she explained all of the ones like down to a T. But I'll keep it very simple. Favorite things, absolutely. Mod view, god tier. Please, if you haven't tried mod view and you're a mod, please look at it. It's so good. And it's not on the list that you currently provided, but my favorite feature still to this day that Twitch implemented is when they changed the main layout of the website to the new one, and everybody was freaking out. And then everybody realized that there's dark mode integrated.
Right.
That was like the blessing of all, is when they just integrated natural dark mode into Twitch. That's it.
Yeah. I completely agree. Definitely with the point where what Molly was making, that Facebook got like all those facelifts, and we were really mad about them, and then we forgot about them like the moment after. It's like, do people remember that they actually changed the font on Twitch like a month ago or 2 months ago? Everyone were like really upset, and nobody like says anything about it.
Yeah. No one will remember anything in like a month. This will just always be the way that Twitch was.
Exactly. I personally, like, out of these new features, I really appreciated the channel points. Much like Molly said, that Twitch is all about the monetization, which is of course important, but I think the channel points was a really great way of like rewarding those who are there, and maybe they don't have that much money. Like I know the meme like, don't you guys have $5? but to be honest, like for the people who are there, like through the good times and the bad times, those are the most important guys in the chat. So that's great, and I love that you can be like creative with it. You can create your own like custom goals or whatever. Hype Train, I think Hype Train was kind of a miss. I think people immediately started calling it a scam train. It's a meme. The offline page of the channel sounds really nice. I need to hire Rajaske Lorjamoni to make a nice video about me. That's a good idea.
Is that pushed yet?
I think
that's live.
I'm not sure if it's live, but it's like really like close. It's close. Because
I'm not sure if it's live either.
I've been getting like a lot of like notifications on Twitch that the channel page is going to change. The channel page is going to change. So I believe it's going to change like real soon. It better be.
It will.
The dashboard, I don't like how many people use it, because the thing is that like with Stream Elements and Streamlabs OBS, you get everything on your OBS, and it feels like more useful to use that on your second monitor and not the Twitch's website.
But not everybody uses Streamlabs. They use Stream Elements as well. So they use the regular OBS with some add-ons, and then they use their Stream dashboard.
Right. But I'm using Stream Elements Live as well, and I have everything I need.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess somebody is using regular OBS or something. So that was kind of a miss for me. Bits tier, I haven't done those. The blocking users is great. So we had a couple of golden ones, and some of them weren't really a thing for me. But I think it's a good thing that Twitch is like trying new stuff, and I think we've been getting like a lot frequent updates now that Mixer is doing moves. I'm not sure if it's a thing, but I think like the competition between the platforms is actually pushing the updates from Twitch's side,
which is what I love about it.
Yeah,
I love competition.
Exactly. It feels like the competition is benefiting us streamers a lot, and that's great at the end of the day. But let's go to the next question. I have a couple more. So the next one is, wait a minute. I actually asked that early on, so I'm not going to go for that. I'm going for the last question. So streaming as an industry is still growing fast. Why do you think this is the case, and do you think if it will keep on growing?
As far as like why it's growing, I guess it is just discovery marketing on like Twitch's part sort of thing. It is just one of those things that you just ideally you grow as a website. And I think gaming is also becoming more accessible now to more people. Gaming PCs are cheaper, consoles, you can stream off of them now. So I think it's just streaming and watching streams is just becoming so easily accessible that it's going to keep growing, I think, over the next few years. I'm sure there'll be something in like 10 years' time that doesn't even exist now, like a hologram of the streamer in your room. I don't know. But it's just, yeah, I think that streaming, people, I feel like, haven't quite realized its potential yet. And as far as like, if I use YouTube as an example again, when companies didn't realize the influence that YouTubers had over their audience, I feel like the same with companies not realizing the effect that Twitch streamers and their communities can have and the effect they can have. So I feel like streaming is still so new, even though like Twitch's been around since 2012-ish. That's only 8 years. That's still really new, and I am not smart enough to predict how much is going to grow, how it's going to grow, but I just feel like people haven't realized its full potential yet. So I'm excited to see all that, and I'm just excited, just along for the ride.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna keep blowing up. It hasn't even, honestly, it's been what, 9 years since Twitch was created? It's not even the start, to be honest. Like, there's so much to go. There's so many other options, and still, like, there's nothing else to say to that. It's still small. It's going to keep growing. It's going to keep getting bigger. There's still going to be other competitors popping up. There's going to be new ideas. VR is going to blow up. How are they going to integrate that? People are going to go to mobile and be able to like walk around, and like you have Twitch on your phone. But what happens next? What's the next new thing? Phones they were small, then they got big, and then now they're smaller again, and now they're getting bigger again. You got to get a phone that folds. So like now your phone is a tablet and a phone at the same time. So who knows? Technology moves way too fast for us to actually understand what's going to happen. But is it going anywhere? Not a chance. It's just going to keep growing.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons like streaming is such a growing industry is the fact that TV sucks. Like the regular old school like cable TV is horrible. It's mind-numbing. I think it's like embarrassing how bad it is. It's like in Finnish TV, I think we're running like the 20th season of Idols and Voice of Finland. Like, please, just stop it. Stop it. Get some help, and come watch like live streams where things are fresh, and you can actually like. I know this sounds like completely out of like any means of reasons, but you can interact with the guy on the other side. I don't know. It's just. People are like I need to explain myself all the time. Like here in where I live, like I'm like they're asking like, what are you doing? You dropped out of like university, and I'm like, I'm streaming on Twitch, and they're like, you're doing what? And they have no idea. They have zero idea what's happening, and I think we just need to. I think we need to like wait until the younger generations like catch up, because the older generation still watch the mind-numbing TV.
I mean, the most thing that you can get out of TV right now, like that you can't get online really for the most part, is sports. But as soon as that transfers over to Twitch, and it's already the NFL, WWE, F1 racing currently, and NASCAR, it's on Twitch. What is the point of the TV at that point? Like Netflix, HBO, anime, Twitch. Why do you need the TV?
Right, right. That's actually completely true. One thing that I really want from Twitch, one thing, if I may ask for one thing, is a TV app. I need a TV app so I can watch
There is
my.
one
Not on my.
Samsung Smart TVs.
Really? Not on my TV at least.
Then you need a new TV. But you need a newer, bigger TV.
That could be the case. I actually had some it was not Twitch, it was some like general game streams app, and it got outdated after first year. And now I need to go to the web browser to go Twitch, and it's like the RAM of the freaking smart TV. It's not enough. It's not smart enough. It can't handle it. But yeah. That's the whole thing. And if there's a Twitch app, I need to get it. At least not on my app, App Store. Yeah. But hey, I ran out of questions. Do you have anything, any topic that you guys want to bring up? Anything that's like brewing in your heads?
I don't think so. The only thing I just wanted to further on your thing of like the older generation still watching TV and waiting for the younger generations to catch up. I actually, in the UK, you have to have a TV license to watch TV, like just normal TV. And I've lived here for 3 years, and I had one for the first 2 years. And it got to a point in about January time where I was like, I don't watch TV. Like, I am paying this money to not even turn my TV on. And I was trying to explain this to my parents, where they were like, but what do you not, is it not quiet? Like, what do you do? And I was like, I just, I have Twitch, I have YouTube, I have Netflix. And they're like, but what do you watch? And I was like, Twitch, YouTube, Netflix.
The things that I just said.
It was just like they couldn't wrap their head around that, like, I don't watch TV anymore. Like, I just watch the internet now. Like, that's it. It's more or less free. Netflix is cheaper than a TV license yearly. So like, why? I miss out on like 2 shows that I want to watch a year. That's fine. It saves me money and it's pointless.
Yeah, the main reason for like a living room TV would to be connect a computer to it so I can watch my my Twitch, my Netflix, play my games. Like, I'm gonna do the same thing on my living room TV I do in the bedroom. I'm not going to buy cable or anything like that. And if you want like your sports show and stuff like that, those at this point you can order online as well. So why are you going to pay for a cable? And that's why nowadays they actually bundle in the TV with the internet, not the internet with the TV. Mm-hmm. So you can get like $30 a month for the internet, and then like with an extra $5, you can get a couple TV channels.
True. Yeah. All right. But I think it's time to wrap up our beautiful podcast. It's been a blast. It's been honestly a blast to talk to you. I think you guys are absolutely beautiful humans and beautiful persons. That's what you say in English. And for the last part of our podcast, it's time for our shameless self-promote section. So Molly, you first. Where can we find you? When? What do you do? Now it's time to advertise yourself. Let us know everything.
Oh god, I'm too awkward for this. I am LittleMoTAC on basically everything: Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, except for Twitter, where I have an underscore after the LittleMoTAC because I used LittleMoTAC on Twitter and then forgot what email I used to claim that name. So I stole it from myself. So LittleMoTAC on everything except for Twitter. That's it.
And last time I saw you were playing Overwatch and Borderlands 3, right?
Yeah, I play a lot of Overwatch and I stream more or less every day. On Sundays, we do art streams, which are really nice. We all just get cozy, have a cup of tea, make some art. And other than that, I play a lot of Overwatch, and on Fridays we do like community games all together.
Nice. And on her side, you can actually see her having fun, unlike here. We're all about sweat here.
Fun.
All right, Chatez, what do you do? Where can we find you? How often?
Name is right there. You'll find me. I'm around. I don't need to say anything. Y'all know who I am. I'm not I'm a normal here. So y'all can find me. Search my name. It's the same thing all over the place. And for you people that were asking at the beginning, I'm sorry, Mo, but Grulle med oss Suomea med en van jaksa. Okay? I'll just speak in Finnish for them. I told them that I know how to speak it.
Yes.
They don't think I'm half Finnish, but
yes,
I just given it to them.
Yeah, it's a real shame we can't keep up with our code language of Finnish. But yeah, it's been yeah.
Don't try to learn it, Mo. It's hard, and you'll get a lot of crazy, weird people saying random stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah, they just say random stuff all over the time. They're lovely people. They're all introverts mostly, but
true. We
such
just sit.
Trolls.
We're practically in quarantine 24/7, 365.
Exactly.
Hey, it's been a real pleasure. You guys are wonderful. I'm going to end the show now. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
See ya.